So welcome to a Buddha bit on how to work with dreams. I've got another video which is about lucid dreaming. It's on this YouTube channel, but someone asked me recently about dreams and how to interpret. So interpreting dreams, first thing, what's the theme of your life? If your theme is sort of still very mixed up with, like, oh, I want this and I want that, and I want a better house, I want a better car. If that's the theme of your life, then your dreams will gather around that. If your theme is a little bit of I'm a bodhisattva and I also want to have a nice car and have a nice house, then your themes will gather around that. I mean, it's hard to be completely pure, but the thing is, if you can have a fairly close sort of bodhicitta motivation with an understanding of some reality, like I'm interdependent, then you could say the thread of your life, that in the saline solution, if there's a thread, the saline solution will gather crystals on that thread. So being much more conscious of the theme of your life. And of course, we're not perfect, so it's, have that understanding. But if the theme of your life becomes very strong after months and years, then dreams can be quite meaningful to help you sort of understand whether you're on the path or if you're going on a detour. Okay, they can help you. But it does require that. So please don't think that just at any moment you could start to jump into your dreams and understand them. Yes, they might be meaningful and they might have some information for you, but you really want to come back to what's the theme of my life. And in this case, we're our bodhisattvas, we're trying to be a benefit. This is number one. Number two, dreams are just signposts. Never create them more than that. And this is the Buddhist point of view. I mean, you can be Freudian and Jungian and Adler and all those sorts of guys if you want, but we're Buddhists. So dreams are merely signposts on the road to enlightenment. Now, if you were on a road, let's say you're driving from point A to point B, and you have the name of that place, and as you're going along the road, you see a sign that says, 50 miles or kilometers to this place, so take exit 302 and whatever. You don't stop, get out, dig up the sign, put it in your car, and then drive on. No, you just say, okay, I'm on the right path. That's exactly the way you should look at your dreams. Don't exaggerate them. They're signposts on the road. Buddhist point of view on dreams. Okay. Now, dreams could be quite powerful and meaningful, but then again, I mean, how you interpret them. So which comes to the next point, interpreting. You break it into four things: place, people, activity, and you. Place. Okay. Now, again, if you're a Buddhist practitioner, being in a hospital, being in a school, being in a university, being in the center of a town, being in Mother Nature, being on a mountain, being in a valley, being on water, being at the seashore, all of those have meanings. Just, briefly, you could say, okay, so for example, if you're in a hospital, you're getting healed. If you're in a restaurant, you're feeding yourself. If you're in a kitchen, you're feeding yourself. If you're in a school, you're educating yourself. If you're in a university, you're more higher educating yourself. If you're in the forest, it's more the natural state of consciousness. You might call that like, your Dzogchen, the natural state of being. You'd be in the forest or in an open field or something. Being in water, consciousness. Being in dirty water, that you obviously got some pollution, you got to clean yourself up a bit. Being at the shoreline, you're at the ocean, especially that you're at the edge of your great consciousness, the universal consciousness. If there's big waves breaking on the shore, maybe you have some interesting stuff coming up from a deeper state of consciousness. Actually, going down, sometimes in Buddhism, there's a way of interpreting dreams a little bit odd, but going down, because Carl Jung's good for this. I mean, discovering, like, you're in your birth home, that's very close to your own sense of self, and then you find there's all these new rooms. Well, that's opening up doorways or states of consciousness and stuff like that. Or you find that you open up and there's a basement and you go in and there's all these really old antiques there. Well, that's sort of getting in touch with maybe some of your heritage and your history or something like that. So that's place. People, well, are they nice people? I mean, lamas, monks or something, or spiritual practitioners, or are they criminals or whatever, And if you do really focus and you really have a good theme of your life, there will be repetitive characters that show up. I mean, I know in my practice, I've been doing this for 50 years. I studied all of Carl Jung's collected works, not that was sort of I disagree with a little bit with some of Carl Jung's presentation, but I'm Buddhist, so I'll come to Buddhist thing. But Carl Jung's got good information for analyzing dreams. It's a good technique, but really, we still we're a Buddhist. But in regards to that, I mean, I had certain characters show up, and if I found myself in a dream with a certain character, I knew a certain feeling or emotion or attitude was being a little bit more present for me. So, I had one character that always represented my attachment. I had another one that represented making bad decisions. That was called Gordon was one, and then Bill was the other one. I mean, this is after years of practice where these guys would show up. I mean, and then actually the most interesting one, which I didn't understand, was my English teacher would show up regularly, or not regularly, but in the earlier years. And I'd always fail my English test. And I could never figure out what it was. Finally, anyway, a long time later, what I discovered was that it was my judgmental attitude. And once I figured out that I was being judgmental, and that's why Mr. Long, my English teacher in my dreams, kept failing me, I stopped having dreams with him. In fact, now when I dream of him, he's being very helpful to me. It's actually really nice. It said, dreams can be sort of like, oh, okay, hey, things are going good, So anyway, that happens with years. I don't think it happens unless you've already been practicing for some time. I wouldn't expect that. But as time passes, your dreams can have repetitive characters. That's point number 2, people in your dreams, okay? Place, people, activity. So going into dark places or going in dirty water or something like that, then obviously you got something to do. Maybe you're in a bathroom and the bathroom's backing up. Well, maybe you got some stuff that you have to work on a little bit again. I mean, these are good indications you got something to work on. I mean, obviously eating clean food, having a fiesta, actually being in a hotel, it's a temporary location. And it could be very nice. So maybe you're having a temporary realization of some sort. It's a hotel. It's not going to be long term, but it's a good situation, something like that. Anyway, so then what's the activity is point number 3. So again, if it's good activity or bad activity, obviously flying and climbing mountains and eating clean food and things are considered good. Going to the bathroom, having a shower, and things, being in a happy place. Okay, those are all good. Being in a difficult place. And this is really important. If you have nightmares, all you need to do is when you wake up from the nightmare and you're having palpitations in your heart and everything, immediately think, what did I avoid yesterday? What did I turn into a monster yesterday that I didn't want to deal with? And that's why then that in the nighttime, you'll dream of a nightmare, a monster, someone chasing you or something like that. So it's important to, first off that. So if you do have a nightmare, try to remember what is it you avoided. And you'll most likely feel that immediately the fear, the anxiety, the palpitations, the heart all disappear quite quickly because, oh, I got it. What am I afraid of? What have I turned into a monster? That's point number 1. And then 2, then do some Tonglen or something on the issue. Whether it's an ex-person that you hate and that betrayed you so badly or whatever, do a little Tonglen on them or whatever, or do Tonglen on yourself. Okay, so that's if you have a nightmare. And anyway, so that's something that's interesting with nightmares. Then finally, what are you doing? So, I mean, are you capable? Now, good examples of that. If you're in a car, but somebody else is driving, especially if it's your mother or your father, then you're sort of living under the guidance that mom and dad gave you, but you're not really the one that's in control. You're doing things for the fact that they told you to. Now, all you need to do is if you're driving the car and your mom and dad are in the back seat, that's good because you're in control, but you're giving you good advice. Or, for example, I mean, if a lama, your teacher, or spiritual friends are in the car, but you're driving, then you're in control. It's not bad, but the thing is something to recognize. A good example is you show up at a train station or a bus station or something, or an airport, and you miss the flight. That's primarily you're procrastinating. What you're saying is, this next weekend, I'm going to meditate, not right now. Tomorrow, I'll do my meditation, not now. And then if you do that, and this is very common for especially us as practitioners, that you have a dream of missing the flight, missing the plane, or whatever, having some trouble or something like that. So then you better say, okay, stop procrastinating. Dharma practice is in the moment. in this moment, am I mindful? Am I aware? Am I with wisdom? Am I with some compassion? So that would eliminate dreams of missing airplanes and flights and things like that. Anyway, there's lots of dreams. There's lots of interesting ones. I mean, for example, being at a border, trying to cross over, if you're having trouble, or if you get the visa or whatever. Again, just, I mean, are you making a transition in your life? Are you going to a new place, a new thing? It's just interesting. So I just thought that. So you have place, people, activity, and you. But remember, take a step back. They're only signposts on the road. Don't exaggerate them, and don't carry a sign in your car with you. Just say, okay, I got to change my attitude. I've got to be a better person. I've got to deal with these issues. I've got to have love and compassion and wisdom, like that. Okay, and then the big one, of course, is what's the theme of your life? That's it. That's how you can understand and interpret dreams. Okay, and if you have really fantastic dreams or something like that, just say, hey, maybe you're sort of on, you're a little too excited about something, and your mind is sort of going, wow, just calm down a little bit, okay? I have some people that say, oh, I dreamt of the Buddha and this and that, oh, wow, okay, maybe you've touched a spark in yourself of something that's really going to be meaningful, but then it's just a signpost. You're on the way to Disneyland, okay? Or I don't know, whatever you wanted to go, okay? So that's fine. Funnily enough, I'll share one just final thing is that I was doing a retreat, I was leading a retreat of Buddhists at a Benedictine monastery. And there was all these Benedictine monks who were very sweet. They loved us as Buddhists. They said we were great meditators. We all held silence really well, which is a key thing in the Benedictine order. So they really enjoyed us. Anyway, there was a Jesuit monk that was attending the Benedictine things, and it is different from us. But one day, the Benedictine monk came to Raquel, my wife, and I, and he said, oh, I wanted to share a dream I had when I was about 12 years old or 14 years old. I had a dream that I was walking up these stairways, and I arrived at the top of the stairway, and there was this incredible golden lotus. He was Mexican, yeah, I remember he was a Mexican young boy. Beautiful golden lotus, and there was this Buddha, and there was all these flowers and things floating around the Buddha, and it was auras, and like, wow, and I was so impressed with that. And then when I woke up, I thought, wow, that's unbelievable, but I'm Catholic. And he went off and became a Jesuit monk. Anyway, but then I jokingly said, you see, but you couldn't escape. Buddhism came to your monastery. Okay, on that note, anyway, that's just the conclusion. Interesting way of interpreting dreams. Okay, and remember, first, what's the theme of your life? More important. And the dreams of the latter part of the night between 3 and 6 are the more informative ones, not the ones that are earlier on. Okay, so anyway, wishing you well. Bye.